Very good evening. Viewers, let me begin by asking some very basic questions of all of you. Would you apply to join a company that is making losses? Would you trust a personality that was lacking in credibility? Would you associate with someone who didn't hold you in high regard, who treated you with contempt? The obvious answer is a resounding no. Obviously, viewers, any such association for you would be fraught with negative implications. And that's why today, when the towering political personage of Naveen Patnaik or a satrap who has played a defining role in the politics of the South like Chandrababu Naidu, who is also looking to resurrect his political fortunes, if both these individuals, these satraps, are planning to rejoin the NDA, then we need to stop and ponder the reasons why. We need to ask if the opposition's claims about Modi being anti-federal in spirit, self-obsessed, as they say, to the point of disregard for alliance partners, and, as they allege, morally compromised and therefore unpopular, are at all sustainable. After all, why would leaders that are perfectly placed, very secure in their states, like Naveen Patnaik, for instance, or Nitish Kumar, or even Jayant Chaudhary, why are they ready to risk aligning with such a fading platform and leader? More on that later, viewers. We'll come to those questions in just a bit. But in the immediate, if these alliances fructify, then the BJP-led NDA will invariably and inevitably swell to the size of a leviathan, a behemoth. In other words, a supersized NDA will have a very good chance of crossing the 400-seat mark, literally marginalizing the India bloc. We have done some simple math to show you how things change dramatically when the NDA expands to include all these partners. Let's talk a little bit about Odisha first. Here, if the BJP and the BJD were to come together, they would have 82.2% of the vote share. Literally, viewers, eviscerating the Congress, which has about 14% of the vote share. In Andhra Pradesh, if a BJP were to tie up with a Naidu and a Jana Sena, a Pawan Kalyan, they would together have 47% of the vote share. The YSRCP, which is the dominant force, it's a breakaway, of course, of the Congress, is at about 49.8%, let's say 50%, viewers. You can see how the margins begin to reduce. And who gets squeezed out? The Congress, with 1.30%. In Bihar, the BJP and the JDU and the others in that alliance make up about 46.67% of the vote. The RJD and the Congress and the left about 25% of the vote. And that's why many people are saying that Nitish Kumar's decision to go back seals the fate of the Gathbandhan, the opposition India bloc, so to speak, in Bihar. In Uttar Pradesh, the BJP already ascendant, but will benefit greatly in certain pockets of Western Uttar Pradesh. And let's not forget, the RLD has influence of the Jat vote. And viewers, that also means that in eastern Rajasthan, pockets of Haryana, there will be a spillover effect. So the BJP and RLD combined have about 51.66% of the vote, the Congress SP and the others 24, the BSP 19. All of that means that the BJP is going to be in the driver's seat. In Karnataka, the BJP has made itself a little more indemnified against damage. They lost the assembly elections last year, so there was a bit of anxiety in the BJP ranks, so they pulled the JDS, a 61% of the vote there. The Congress only has about 32%. In all these states, viewers, it's the Congress, especially the Congress, that stands to suffer. Which means the Congress tally, which is 50 plus right now, could come down. And that's what a lot of opinion poll surveys seem to be suggesting. Now, the migration of these satraps towards the NDA prompts certain pointed questions. You remember, viewers, I began with some rhetorical ones, but these are more pointed ones. Will the India bloc continue to say the BJP doesn't respect its allies, with so many top leaders now moving towards the NDA, towards a prospective alliance with the BJP, towards sharing power perhaps at the center with the BJP? Would regional heavyweights join the BJP if it didn't respect the spirit of federalism that is exemplified in the Constitution? These are fundamental questions, viewers, because this is the criticism that the Modi-led BJP has been copying for the last 10 years now. Has BJP proven that its ideology and message has widespread acceptability, even amongst those who position themselves as avowed secularists, for example, viewers? Regional satraps in NDA, a booster for its pan-India appeal. Finally, the NDA led by the BJP will acquire a pan-national footprint. Does the movement towards the NDA indicate lack of confidence in the India bloc? Why isn't it attracted some of these prospective allies? I mean, if the Congress can tie up with parties as inimical to it as the AAP and the TMC and the left in certain states. Remember, Rahul Gandhi, if he contests from Wayanad, will be up against the left, which is an alliance partner, part of the India. Why would it fear having an alliance, let's say, with the BJD or with the TDP in Andhra and in Orissa? Viewers, think about that. Why wouldn't they be saying, okay, let's set our differences aside just to keep the BJP out? Why would an RLD chief be quitting the Gathbandhan, so to speak, the India bloc, to join the BJP-led NDA, and Nitish in the neighboring state doing exactly the same? These are questions, viewers, that we need to ask on the back of these developments. And around 9 o'clock today, Chandrababu Naidu is going to be meeting with the BJP brass, and that conversation could acquire some urgency, viewers. Charu Pragya, spokesperson of the BJP, there with us. Zainab Sikandar, spokesperson of the RLD. Remember, the RLD is one of those parties whose leaders has actually made that transition. So let me just begin with you, Zainab Sikandar. The others don't, of course, need introductions here. Bhanu Chandar Nagarajan is with us. He's a political analyst, Tehseen Poonawala, and of course, the Samajwadi Party's very own Abbas Haider. But let me begin with you first. The question is simple. Many people from the so-called secular ranks say that the BJP's expression, its ideology, its message is divisive, it's anti-certain minorities, it's exclusive. It is also anti-federal, at least their behavior. So why would someone like Jayant Chaudhary, who is very comfortably placed in his little pocket, transcending 3 geographies, why would you want to align with the Modi BJP?
It's simple. We simply want to be on the side which has focus and clarity. And I've said this multiple times, and I'm saying this again as an RLD spokesperson, that, the Congress and the India bloc, and I'm not saying this disrespectfully, I mean it, they do lack some clarity and focus, and they're still not sure where to lay their cards, and there's still a lot of tussle. Of course, now they're saying that they've done the seat sharing, and all those talks are done. But for the longest time, they didn't have, any clarity on what they were expecting their alliance partners to do. The biggest problem in that bloc is that nobody is there in a leadership role, and without a leadership role there will be a lot of tussle and a lot of confusion and chaos, which is why our leadership, especially Jayant Chaudhary ji, he decided that it's better to go to an alliance where we can work, especially for our farmers. Western Uttar Pradesh is dominated by, the agricultural sector, and we want to do a lot for our farmers, keeping in mind, the farmer protests also that have been going on, in the recent past. So our focus is mainly And our aim is mainly to do as much work for our people and our region, and that we only think can happen while we are in the NDA.
Okay, so that is from a point of meeting your objectives,
Yes.
Zainab Sikandar. But as you know, the opposition, especially the Congress, continues to attack the BJP with one basic accusation. It says that the BJP doesn't respect anyone besides itself. It's led by a dictator, an authoritarian authority who wants to concentrate powers, doesn't care even a smidgen about federalism, and most importantly, doesn't respect alliance partners.
See, I think this question should be pointed at a BJP Pravakta, but if you're asking me, as someone who has, as a party that has recently joined the NDA fold, I will clearly say that they do respect their alliance partners. I'm speaking from, what we have observed in our party. And I don't know what is the proof for Congress to say this, but if you also see the Congress party, the whole point between the India bloc, the differences between them is because they also don't respect each other in their alliance setup, and they cannot come to a conclusion on seat sharing. In fact, recently you must have heard even in Jammu and Kashmir, the alliance partners, both PDP and NC, are in a tussle right now over the 3 Lok Sabha seats. And National Conference is clearly saying we'll fight all 3.
And in Kerala, you have a problem in Wayanad where the left says, look, we have the first right. So you're saying that
Absolutely.
The Congress is the last to speak. And
yeah, it's very rich of them to say this comment because these things take time.
Okay, so let me just bring in Tehseen Poonawalla straight off, and also of course Bhanuchandra Nagarajan. First to you, Bhanuchandra Nagarajan, what's the thinking here? Why are we seeing suddenly the BJP lurching towards making these tie-ups? Is it nervous? Because that's what a lot of people will say, that it's not confident going in. It doesn't even know if it's going to get the 330. So it needs to stitch up all of these alliances. Is that one of the reasons? Because I'm sure Tehseen will raise that point. So you may as well just get it out of the way.
See, to answer the question, the Prime Minister has given a 370 plus for BJP and 400 plus for NDA. Both are very audacious goals. So I don't think there is any nervousness on the part of the NDA. I think Prime Minister Modi wants to implement Congress Mukt Bharat, and he doesn't want to do it alone, but actually is bringing together a lot of regional players to implement that project. That's the fundamental of it. And why are people ditching the Congress? Because there are 4 or 5 reasons. One is organization, ideology, leadership. None of the big things are working for the Congress. They have not put any new ideas in the last 10 years. If you take our fellow democracy, the USA, the Republicans came up with fresh ideas against the Democrats, right? There's nothing of that sort here. Leadership, you know how it is. In terms of organization, there are no new faces. You can see that, like even for the recent Lok Sabha elections, they put out Abhishek Manu Singhvi of all people. And even in the manifesto committee, there are no new people. P. Chidambaram is going to come and present the manifesto. And what signal is that going to send to people, right? So I think the Congress is a sinking ship and nobody wants to join that ship. That's the fundamental of it.
Tehseen Poonawalla, one of your previous alliance partners is saying that the Congress lacks focus and clarity and cannot even sit and lecture others on this business of the BJP being any less federated in its outlook. Another analyst is coming out and saying that you lack ideology, leadership, focus and clarity, just as what Zainab Sikandar also just said to us. And there are no new faces, there are no new ideas.
Rahul, good evening. Thank you so much for having me on the show. And at the onset, welcome to Zainab. On the opposite side, I've always been on the same side as her. But let me quote somebody who's a friend of mine, and I want to quote him from the newspaper, from a very respected newspaper. And then I'd like you, Rahul, to guess who this leader is. I think the BJP, I'm quoting inverted commas, I think the BJP likes to portray that its current leadership of Modi ji, Amit Shah ji, Nadda ji, are very large-hearted and they want to embrace diverse leadership and bring in different parties into the NDA fold. When you've seen their work in the last 9.5 years, that is not the case. I continue. In a democracy, you will always have people who come and oppose you, ask questions, fight elections. They are not your sworn enemies. That you give them names like this. It is not demeaning for us. It is demeaning for our voters who voted for us in the past and will continue to vote for us in the future. We have gotten used to these barbs. This is Sri Jana Chaudhary ji. Just August 2023. Yes, then he found the BJP demeaning him. Today, Jain ji thinks the Congress does not have ideas, because I can continue to quote, if you allow me, what Jain ji says about the Congress. Jain ji says about the Congress in the same interview, which is to the Hindu, a newspaper that he gave his interview to. He said that the Congress has a big role to play. It is a well understood brand, and many people across the country are voting for the party, and this time will vote for the party and what the party stands for in the past and in the future. This is Mr. Jana Chaudhary few months ago. Fine, he's changed, and I respect that. He's also a friend of mine, and I respect that he's changed. And that's okay. And if Zainab thinks the BJP can bring development in Western UP, that's great.
Yes.
But the idea that the Congress is not on the right track is what that gets me worried and gets me, it riles me up. I'm wondering, if the Congress was not on the right track, did everybody realize this 6 months ago? Did they not realize this at the Hyatt meeting? Did they not realize it post that? When they were giving all these certificates to the Congress and issuing certificates of dictatorship or whatever words that you use, not me, to the BJP? Come on. This is politics. It's hardcore politics. Just a second, I want to finish. Yes, the Honorable Prime Minister wants to touch 370. Yes, he wants NDA to cross 400. So he's doing whatever he can, perhaps with some help from his friends who are also Modi ka parivar. I quote ED, CBI. Okay, I'm not saying that for Jain ji, don't get me wrong. I'm saying that, but individuals he's taking, Jain ji is not under pressure. I'm putting this on record. So he's doing that. Okay, good. Whatever he's doing, Sam Dam Danded, we have to fight. We know we have to fight him. He's a colossal political force, and we will fight him. But the idea that we are not prepared, I take objection to that. That we are prepared, I accept that.
Can I ask you a counter question? Let's first begin by accepting one basic rule of politics. Everyone is an opportunist. They look for the best deal they can get, right? Can we agree on that?
No, I would not like to agree on that.
No, okay. I don't. I'm not like that.
Okay.
I don't agree.
You're not like that. No, you're not like. Your party certainly is. The Congress party is a big opportunist, because when it came to swallowing the wish of Hindutva, they did so in Maharashtra, just like the BJP did in the past in Kashmir, etc. So, look, let's just set aside our little rose-tinted glasses.
You have to.
No, 1 second.
You have to have a large heart to bring the poison, so that you can spread the Amrit amongst everybody.
Right. That is what poor Nitish Kumar has done about 4 times now. I mean, I don't know if he has a permanently blue heart.
We've now got an adjective. You've been Nitish.
So 1 second. Yeah, you've been Nitish. Now, hang on. Let me just ask you this, because Tehseen, let's start with the baseline. You said this is hardcore politics. Now, hardcore politicians know which way the political breeze is blowing. Do they not? Would you say they won't?
Most of them do, but some of them make an error of judgment. I can say that Mr. Patnaik right now is making an error of judgment. I can say this confidently.
Yes, so he should join. Yes. He should join hands with the Congress party.
No.
Listen, viewers, let me tell you something. The Congress has a very peculiar record. Every time it ties up with regional parties, those regional parties, to use the word nitished, get nitished. So maybe I think the BJD knows very clearly that it certainly is better off with the BJP if it wants to sail in a boat that perhaps will carry it across, right, the river. So, viewers, this is what I'm trying to tell you. That one particular outfit says that the BJP is sinking, it's not connecting with the people, the Prime Minister doesn't have anything new to say, the people don't believe that he has delivered, his guarantees have, in fact, they have zero warranty. If that were the case, you wouldn't be seeing this migration towards the BJP. No one wants to commit political suicide, viewers. So clearly, the Congress has actually read this wrong, and therefore we are asking these questions of the Congress. And I know that Tehseen is upset that we are asking these questions of the Congress, but that is the reason these questions.
It's a democracy. You have a
so
right
let me ask you then the second question, because I must spend that extra 3 minutes with you. The charge that the Congress has made many a times, and a large number of parties have also made, which have come back to the NDA, is that the BJP acts as if it owns the NDA space totally, from A to Z, and it doesn't respect the rule of coalition dharma, or even respect its alliance partners and the federated democracy we have. Now, does this charge, once again, get called into question, Tehseen, after the movement we are seeing towards the BJP by people who have actually something to lose, as you yourself have said. Certainly they don't want to lose their self-respect.
No, no one wants to lose their self-respect.
Well,
That I agree.
Yes.
But there are different reasons why people go. There's a different reason why Mr. Patnaik goes. I don't know why Mr. Patnaik is going, but I
Now,
can
you
tell
don't
you on
know
the show
the
he's making
reason.
biggest-
Maybe
but I'm
the
telling you,
reason
he's making
is
the biggest political
no. That's
mistake
a rhetorical
because Congress
point.
will go in Odisha.
That is a very
However,
rhetorical point. Speak in
No, it's not a
concrete hard
rhetorical
facts.
point.
It is. He
I
is
am
going
giving you hard
because
facts.
let me tell you, he is going, and let me bring in Charu Pragya. Charu Pragya, why is Mr. Patnaik going to the BJP? Why is he wanting to hold Mr. Modi's hand and perhaps take him across that 400 mark, which would be quite a record?
A very good evening to you, Rahul. Good evening to all my fellow co-panelists and the viewers. Thank you for bringing in after everyone else has spoken, so I can individually respond to a lot of the things being discussed. Let's first do a broad comparison between the NDA today and the non-alliance that India is. In fact, this is the alliance that wanted to call itself India to gain political brownie points, but they're siding with people who want to break up this very India, the idea of India, into smaller little nations, as recently quoted by the DMK leader A. Raja. The difference also is the kind of narrative all these opposition parties and their leaders are setting in their respective regions, and we can go over them. Let's start with West Bengal. In TMC, Mamta Didi is pretending as if the plight of the women of Sandesh Khali is not important to her, but what is important to her is to shield and protect accused who has more than 43 cases to his name currently. In Bihar, Laluji is out on medical bail, but instead of looking after his health, he's out in public hitting Modi ji way below the belt in a personal way, which is completely unrequired, and not even bothering about the fact that the court can take cognizance and say this was contempt of court and put him behind bars again. But that's their narrative. In Jharkhand, the CM himself is behind bars. In Tamil Nadu, I just mentioned DMK and the kind of language the leaders have been using, not against Sanatan Dharma only, not against Hindus only, but most recently talking of states in India like they're independent nations, and that is hurtful. It's hurtful to people across the nation. In Delhi, we have ministers behind bars again. We have an entirely confusing equation between the Congress and the Aam Aadmi Party. And in Punjab, the Chief Minister says, "Ek thi Congress." So already usko write off karke thi bana diya gaya hai. So this is the agenda, the narrative, the conversation that India non-alliance is having currently. What is the NDA doing? NDA is aligning behind the one person whose only purpose is to make sure India progresses, whose only purpose is to discuss and work towards a Viksit Bharat in 2047. And that's why everybody is rallying behind PM Modi. I think historically there are very few instances when a nation is gifted with a leader such as this. And if at a time like this also you cannot choose the correct side to be on, then history is going to blame you forever.
Okay, so let me then bring in the Samajwadi Party spokesperson. In sum, what Charu Pragya is saying is that the India alliance or the India bloc, or call it what you want to, is corrupt Bharat Todo rabble, disorganized Bharat Todo rabble. They're carping against each other, they challenge each other, they want to steal each other's little turf. And that's what we are seeing in Wayanad, we are going to see in obviously, unfortunately, Bengal, in Punjab, in Delhi, perhaps even, who knows. So why then would a Jayant Chaudhary, who has a whole future ahead of him, of the RLD, and Nitish, who still has some credibility left to defend, even if I'm only saying it, why would he and Jayant Chaudhary and the others like Mr. Patnaik want to come to this corrupt Bharat Todo rabble, in the BJP's words? What do you have to offer, Mr. Abbas Haider, except for despondency, divisiveness?
Anand bhai, it is the first time that people who have got ticket of Bharatiya Janata Party, they are returning tickets. This has never happened before with BJP. And once you have asked me about JNG and JDU, so this is the irony of Bharatiya Janata Party and NDA. So the top leadership of
Why
Bharatiya
Jayant
Janata Party,
Chaudhary left you?
I'll come to that question. I'll answer you that question. So they were not giving to appointments of other parties like Akali Dal and other allies of NDA. Now they are running after them and nobody is ready to join NDA. And as far as JNG is concerned, I respect JNG. But how is going to face the people in Western Uttar Pradesh? My fellow panelist from RLD was talking about development of Western Uttar Pradesh. The Bharatiya Janata Party has got a triple engine government in Uttar Pradesh. From past 7 years, they are in government in Uttar Pradesh. From past 10 years, they're in sector. So what have they done for the farmers? Even in JNG's work, there have been 10,000 suicide of farmers in just 1 year. They on an average, Anand Bhai, the income of farmers has gone down, but the Bharatiya Janata Party government does not have answer to any of those questions. When the Kisans are asking for the legal guarantee of an MSP, the government is doing nothing on that. But in fact, the Bharatiya Janata Party has to make minister to a person who has said Prime Minister biggest liar in the world.
Okay.
I'm talking about Om Prakash Rajbhar. A day before that, he was saying that I am going to make Bharatiya Janata Party lose in Lok Sabha election.
Okay.
A day
So
after that,
you're
he was
saying
made
there are only
cabinet
opportunists
minister.
who are leaving us,
This is-
and
no, no,
good riddance
this
to
is-
these
this is
opportunists.
the
Zainab Sikandar,
nervousness of
respond.
Bharatiya Janata Party.
And one
Just
second,
one by- just
Haider
one more
Saab,
second.
Haider Saab, one
Rahul
second.
bhai.
You're having a McAdams moment. You're having a bit of a McAdams moment. I'm Rahul.
No.
Actually, I'm Rahul. Rahul
Sorry,
Shivshankar.
Rahul. I'm so sorry.
That's
I'm
okay.
sorry,
थोड़ा
Rahul.
McAdams
I'm so
आपका भी
sorry.
हो गया, मगर कोई बात नहीं. Let me just bring in.
नहीं.
Yeah. Okay. Make your
Rahul
point.
bhai,
30
just
seconds.
let me come.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
Rahul bhai, in 1977, if you remember, the government called a pre-election because they were confident. They were thinking that we are going to,
ठीक है.
win all the seats in the country. But what happened? Even the top leadership lost. So this is going to happen with Bharatiya Janata Party. The people who are joining Bharatiya Janata Party,
ठीक है.
it will be a political suicide for them.
Political
Because
suicide. You're committing political
2024,
suicide,
people
Zainab
are gonna
Sikandar.
teach
We don't
them
want you to
what
do
is going
that,
to happen.
says the SP, your former partner, still about, what, a month ago?
Yeah, there's not much time left. We'll see who's making political suicide. But it's very rich of someone from Samajwadi Party to talk like this because, as we clearly know, the Samajwadi Party is in grave identity crisis. And this is not something I'm saying. This is something your own Karyakartas say.
No, but as Mr. Tehseen Poonawala pointed
I'm coming
out to you,
I'm coming to it.
Jayant Chaudhary said even
I am
worse.
coming to it. I am coming to it. Jayant Chaudhary ji has said a lot, and I agree to everything Tehseen ji is saying verbatim, whatever he's saying. But can you imagine how much of a mess the INDI alliance must be in for Jayant ji to turn away from them in spite of saying all these things, which is what I was saying in my previous comment, that the problem is that there's so much chaos within that alliance and bloc that we know that come what may, if they even come to power, we will not be able to do the work that we want to do in our region, which is the reason we went in with the NDA alliance, because we know at least we will be able to work for our farmers, we will be able to work for the Alpsankhyaks, we will be able to work for the... If they win or don't win, at least the alliance respects the fact that we need to do work there and they will allow us...
So you are conceding that you're jumping out of the fire into the frying pan?
Not at all. Not at all. Those are words that you're putting in my mouth. It's
You said at least we know.
No, we know that we will get to work. How can you work in a chaotic alliance? Please tell me that.
Okay, so viewers, here it is. These are stakeholders telling their previous partners, you got a problem. We don't even need the BJP in this debate. I don't know why. I gave Charu Pragya 3.5 minutes to speak. Charu Pragya, but make your point very quickly because once again...
I'm on one line.
I'll be very quick and I will refer now to the point made by Tehseen. You know, everything that the Congress had planned, the Indy non-alliance had planned was good in theory. They've only been speaking theoretically since the day of their inception till date because they can do meeting after meeting. But at the end result is, forget about seat share, they don't even know what their common minimum program is and what are they working towards really.
Maybe
it's
it is
a very
common,
misguided
too common and
attempt
too
with
minimum.
Rahul ji
Okay,
walking
I'll leave
across
it at
the
this.
country.
Okay, I've run out of time. I get the drift. Too common and too minimum is what the BJP is saying. Well, viewers, the ball as always is in your court in a democracy. The questions have been posed. We can all ponder them. I began by asking you these questions. I'm going to take a short break. We'll be back in just about 3.5 minutes. A big story coming up. Don't go away.